Shalom, Ka La La Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Hey, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel, men, women, and children. Shalom. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus 37 in verse 7. It says, "Why doeth one day excel another, when as all the light thereof, Salakia, when it's all the light of every day in the year is of the sun." Sirach 33 and 8, it says, "By the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh, Bashmal Shah, they were distinguished, and he altered seasons and feasts. Some of them have he made high days and hallowed them, and some have he made ordinary days." All right, so the point being that, Yahweh Bashmal Shai, all right, distinguish certain days. All right, let's get that word distinguished. All right, matter of fact, we'll just get right here. All right, and I just want to do a brief lesson on the Sabbath. All right, edifying the Sabbath, which, I've done this video numerous of times, but it's good to touch back up on it. You may have new believers, people new to the faith. All right, and this is a custom, a high holy day has been kept throughout all generations. All right, even when we were scattered. All right, this is a major part of our custom and history. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shai has deemed it so. And it's honored and it's, reverenced through the keeping. All right. The day is kept by observing the moon. All right. The lunar, all right, or the ordinances in the sky, because, Esau, Edom, he doesn't have any control over it. All right. He desires, what Scripture say, he shall desire to change times and seasons. All right. But the ordinances follow, all right, the order of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Let's grab this word distinguish real quick. All right, DST, distinct. Let me see. It may give me a synonym, distinction. If not, I'll Google it. All right, so we'll read distinction. It says the act of separating or distinguishing. All right, characteristic of one thing or person, so serving to identify a distinctive. So how do we identify, all right, the month or the Sabbath? All right, it's going to be done through the new moon. We're going to grab some precepts, say a note or mark or difference. Difference made, a separation or disagreement in kind or qualities by which one thing is known from another. We observe a distinction between matter and spirit, a distinction between matter and spirit, a distinction between the animal and vegetable kingdoms, a distinction between good and evil, right and wrong, between sound reasoning and sophistry. All right, a difference regarded, separation, preference, as in the phrase without distinction, with denotes promiscuously altogether alike. All right, so basically it's a separation, a distinction. All right, something that sets apart one thing from another. All right, just like you got black and white, red and blue. These are total polar opposites in which the color, all right, when it hits the eye, you can tell the difference. All right, if you're not colorblind. All right, I read 5 and then we'll continue on. It says separation, division as the distinction of tragedy into acts. All right, so let's go back to the lunar calendar. All right, yesterday evening, Thursday evening, all right, was a new moon. All right, in which the moon is decreasing, or is at its lesser light. All right, it's less illuminated, and that marks the beginning of the new month. All right, or the new moon, which the new moon, all right, in our custom is kept as an ordinance, as a feast day. All right, so let's go to Sirach 43. So no, the Sabbath is not according to Friday's evening to Saturday evening. All right, in the scriptures, there's no testimony left of us even regarding Monday through Sunday. All right, or Sunday through Saturday, however you want to word it. But we did honor, all right, the new moon or the Sabbath, all right, by the ordinances, all right, or the light of the moon, all right, the constellations. It is record kept of that, all right. So Let's read Sirach 43. This is Sirach 43 and 1. It says, the pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven with his glorious shew. The sun, when it appeareth, declaring at his rising, a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. All right. So all the ordinances, the stars, the heavenly constellations is the beauty and the work of Yahweh Bashim Shai, and they obey his commandment. You read in the book of Job, all right, how everything running hastily, all right, at the commandment of Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right. We read about also in the book of Jeremiah, if these ordinances was to depart from the earth, we wouldn't be a nation. So that the covenant still stand, the nation of Israel is still here, all right. And we're able to rehearse the righteous acts, all right, based off of what's left for us as a testimony in history, all right. This is not according to the Gregorian calendar in which the oppressor has made us to live by and put that up as a standard, all right. Sirach 43 in verse 5, it says, great is the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, that made it, and at his commandment it runneth hastily. What? The ordinances, the moon, the sun, the stars. They constantly appear. They're not slack. All right. Sirach 43 and 5. Great is the Lord, Yahweh Bashmal Shah, that made it, and at his commandment it runneth hastily, meaning quick, speedily, in a hurry. It says he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. All right. So the moon is a declaration of times. All right. Hence, this is how we can tell, all right, the months, all right, by the cycles of the moon. All right. Sirach 43 and 7, it says, the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name. So moon is synonymous with month, hence the new moon or new month, which we're currently in a new moon, which is a feast. You can't eat, all right, get amongst believers, celebrate, reverence Yahweh Shema Shai, or you can fast, do lessons, all right, kept in honor and remembrance of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, but it is the start of a new month. All right. Nonetheless, Sirach 43 and verse 8, it says, the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, and ornaments giving light in the highest places of the Lord. All right, this is the point. Sirach 43 and 10. At the commandment of the Holy One, Yahweh, Bashmal Shah, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. So this is reliable as far as us keeping track of time. All right, Esau can change the calendar and take away certain days and extend years and add, but he cannot, alter the ordinances as we just read, because at the commandment of the Holy One, they're going to stand in their watches. All right. Let's go to the next precept. Matter of fact, we'll grab 1 Samuel. I intended on grabbing that last, but let's go here. Since we just read that. This is 1 Samuel 20. The Lord willing, this is coming together, making sense and edifying. All right. 1 Samuel 20. All right, so tonight at eve, when the moon appears, that will mark, all right, the end of the new moon feast, all right, or the end of the Shabbat or Sabbath. This is 1 Samuel 20 and verse, bear with me, let's see, 6. Bear with me. This is 1 Samuel 20 and 5. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat. All right. Why are they reverencing or looking or mentioning the new moon? All right, because it is a feast day. All right, and the king's table was going to be laid out with meat. All right, in reverence and honor of the Sabbath, the new moon, feast day. All right. 1 Samuel 20 and verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, and David was being persecuted of Saul the king. And Jonathan, being Saul's son, had a fond brotherly relationship with David. All right. And they were commencing going back and forth discussing how David was going to flee. All right. Or not be at meat, the new moon feast. All right. The point being that they were looking toward the skies, the ordinances. 1 Samuel 20 and verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon. All right. As you see here on the screen. All right. So they were keeping track of the sky, the ordinances, the constellations to tell the time. All right. And I should not fail to sit with the king at meat, but let me go that I may hide myself in the fields until the third day at evening. All right. So that being the point. All right. Let me see. Bear with me. That's basically the point. So let's go to the next precept. This is Amos. Amos chapter 8 and verse 5. It says, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn in this Sabbath, that we may eat, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. Amos 8 and 5 saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn in the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, falsifying the balances by deceit. All right. So we know, on the Sabbath, you're supposed to, rest, be cool, reverence the Lord. All right. And sit down. All right. If you're able to. We know sometimes we have to work. All right. And don't don't kill yourself. Don't be over righteous. But, we are supposed to be chilling out. We're not supposed to be doing much resting. All right. We're in captivity. Take the chance to rest, do a lesson. All right. And think upon the name of the Lord. All right. But we know it's been accounts left for us to, know the severity of the Sabbath. People have been killed. All right. Because they were, doing labor on the Sabbath. All right. We know Yahweh send Yahweh Shai to be our grace for us. Yahweh Bashim Shai. We have grace and mercy. All right. But it's all done, in balance and in the spirit. All right. And Yahweh Shai is the Lord of the Sabbath, as he stated. All right. He knows the condition we're in captivity. But nonetheless, this is Amos 8 and 5 again. It says, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn in the Sabbath? That being the point, that we may set forth wheat, make it the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. All right, there you have it. Let's go to Psalms 81. Psalms 81 and verse 1. Sing aloud unto the Most High. Yahweh Bashim Shai strength, make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute, Psalms 81 and 4, for Jacob, Salakia. Psalms 81 and 4, for this was a statute for Israel and a law of the God of Jacob, or power of Jacob. All right, there you have it. Let's read it again. Psalms 81 and 3, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. So according to the moon is where you mark the Sabbath, all right? Or you can know when the Sabbath is supposed to be kept for that month, all right, for that amount of time until the next new moon, all right. So from evening to evening, all right, when the moon is in the sky, all right, to the next day, that's when the new moon is marked for that set of days, all right. Let's go to Isaiah 66. Right. So this is how the Sabbath is observed according to the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. And it's all done in faith. All right. But Lord willing, this is giving clarity. All right. To a believer. This is Isaiah 66. Isaiah 66 in verse 22. I started at 22, the point is in 23. It says, as for the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. All right, so the new heaven and new earth is coming through the destruction of this current society, which is going to be cleansed by the fire, the missiles, the ICBM nuclear missiles, and the chariots. All right, this dominion, this age, all right, the thought process, the technology, the cars, all right, it's all going to be wiped away. The Lord is going to refresh the earth, all right, and a righteous rulership will be established, all right. The old ways, all right, of America and this Babylonian society will pass away, and there's going to be a righteous rulership, a righteous time period, all right. And the Israelites are going to be on top through Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right. And we're going to be eternal, all right, immortal, all right, forever inhabiting the earth. Isaiah 66 and 23. So this is what's at stake. This is what's coming to the hopeful elect remnant first. All right. With the point being in Isaiah 66 and 23, it says, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So there you have it. All right. The new moon is observed, or the Sabbath is observed by the new moon. All right. The lunar cycle in which we have the tools. You see, I have this app pulled up, Moon Plus. This Moon app cycles. All right. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. All right. To keep up. Then brothers and the apostles put up videos. All right. Of the Sabbath. All right. So we can rehearse the righteous acts. All right. Judges 5 and 11. Those that are delivered from the noise of drawing waters, all right, shall rehearse the righteous act, roughly paraphrasing. Judges 5 and 11. Let's go to Colossians, and then we'll close it. All right. This is Colossians 2. All right. This is it's Hebrews, Peter, 2 Peter, Revelation. Bear with me. Ephesians, Colossians. Colossians 2 and verse I started right to the point. 16. It says Colossians 2 and 16, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Hamashiach. All right. So, right, we're all, rehearsing the righteous acts, and this is a trial period, It's serious, and you put forth your best effort, but these things are not going to save us, all right? The new moons, the high holy days, all right? But we do reverence and honor, all right, and uphold and keep them to the best of our ability, all right? But ultimately, we're going to be saved through Lord willing we're chosen and of the elect from the foundation of the earth based off, the selection of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashim El Shai, all right, in faith and works, all right, and being an example of a believer, a true Christian, right? So, Lord willing, this lesson edifying. All praise, honor, and glory goes unto Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim, Rachak Wadah Shalom.